YouTube! So my intro now, my spoken intro, is not going to compare to my graphic intro, so I might as well not even be here anymore. Now, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to help you all start writing your stories. So to do this, I'm going to make it like more fun and interactive rather than just like English teacher way. And I'm going to tell you like the 5 questions that you should ask yourself before you start writing your stories. These 5 questions will help you get a better understanding of your story, where it's going to go and what you need to do next to make it the best story ever. The first question you should ask yourself is, who is the story about? The story has to have obviously a main character or a group of main characters, and it's really important that you establish who those main characters are going to be, so you know which characters to develop and how to think about their future and their past and really build on those characters, because a lot of the time a story is about the people and not the stuff that actually happens, if that makes sense. Obviously stuff that happens is important too, but you need to ask who your story is really about. So, for example, my most popular story, Becoming Queen Bee, it has like a female protagonist, so like a female main character. Let's just call her Bronte, because you can pick the name, but we'll just call her Bronte. Yeah. So I knew my story was going to be about her. Then I knew there was going to be 2 love interests, like a bad boy and like a good boy, basically. And then there was going to be like the best friend, Sandra. So that would be all together. Got to count in my head, that was really difficult. 4 main characters. So now I know who is my story about. It's about the main character, Bronte, her best friend, and then the 2 love interests. Okay, question 2 is, what is this story about? So, contrary to what I just said, even though the characters I think are more important than like the happenings, what the story is about is actually really, really important. So you don't want to just go in like sitcom, because then, although like you may be a really good writer and like have good jokes or good drama or whatever, if there's not like an actual happening in your story, it's not as exciting for the reader, especially if there isn't like, you know, the, oh, what's going to happen next element. So you really need to think about what exactly is going to happen in your story. Like, what is it about? What's the event? Like, what journey are we following while we're reading it or while we're playing it? So, for example, Becoming Queen Bee is like, if I was to answer this question about that, it's about a young girl who goes from being a nobody to being shoved into attention. It's about how she deals with popularity and how she makes life decisions, you know, money, boys, going through college. But really, it's about going from being not noticed to being noticed. Like, that's the big change in the story. And then I can work around that, but I've got like one core idea of what happened, what is going to happen, what's this story all about? Ask yourself the same question, mate. Now you'll have decided who this story is about and what this story is about. You need to think about how long you want to make it, because you can have great episode stories of all lengths, you know, from like 5 chapters to 20 to 50 chapters long. I prefer longer stories because I feel like you can get into them more. So I'm more of a 50 chapter kind of girl. But if your story's only 5 chapters long, you don't want to have like 100 events happening in it, like plan 100 events for it, because then it'll just feel rushed. But then if you're going to make it 50 chapters long and you've only got 10 chapters worth of ideas, then that's not going to work either. So you need to decide how long, how many chapters you want your story to be, and then plan appropriately for those amount of chapters. I like to have like 1 event per chapter, you know, like one big event, like something happening, and then like a major story changing happening every 10 episodes. So what I do is plan like basically what I want the core thing to happen in the story, and then I plan like an event that progresses me to the end every 10 chapters, and then I just go with the flow. Question 4 is a question that I actually think is really, really important and specific to episode, because it doesn't count when you're writing like a normal story. But when you're writing an episode story, you have to remember that it's an interactive game. That's what makes episodes special. It's unique in the way that you play as a person in the story. So choices matter. But what you really need to think is, who is the user going to play as? Are they going to play as the female main character or the male main character? Are they going to be like the protagonist, or are they going to be on the sidelines? Like, think of a role for your character. Deciding who the reader is gonna play as is vital because it means that you can think about the options that you can give that character while still giving them a personality. So they can choose to be like mean or nice, but still have a personality and reasons they're acting that way. If that makes sense. If I'm not making sense, I'm so sorry. I don't know it. So the final question that you need to be asking yourself when creating a new story on episode is what makes your story original and creative? Like, everybody can write a good romance story or a good drama story. So it's very easy to have very similar work because there are no original ideas. But you need to come at it from a view that will make it unique. So you have to have a reason why someone would read your story over others. So for example, with Becoming Queen Bee, everybody has written a story like Becoming Queen Bee where the nobody gets noticed and becomes a somebody, and, well, you know, when the good girl meets the bad boy. So yeah, I get it, like that's been written 100 times, but what I thought was unique about it was the strength of the main character, her relationship with Molly, and also the comedy element. Instead of focusing on the romance element of this high school rom-com, I wanted to focus more on the comedy element and make it light-hearted, and although drama and stuff happens, it's always a positive story. It's never like super sad and negative, and that's what I thought made my story unique. So you need to ask yourself the same thing and make sure you have that unique, individual, creative, all those other synonyms. There weren't really synonyms. You need to make sure you have that in your story. Okay, YouTube, that's it for now. Just a short little video. Don't forget to comment what you would like to see down below, any future videos. Also, a huge thank you to Katrine, who is editing all my videos at the moment. You are the absolute bomb and I'm so appreciative, so thank you so much. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon.